The story opens with Kaku, our protagonist, savoring dragon meat that surpasses his expectations. He's thrilled to have found such a delightful gift for the villagers. Elsewhere in a forest, a carriage materializes, having teleported from another location. The narrative then shifts to the village of Joan, set in the year 1013 of the Holy Calendar. Villagers are busy with their daily work, and children play cheerfully. The night guard, weary and hungry, is pleased to see Kaku arrive. Kaku greets him, jokingly asking if he's still alive, which makes them both laugh. Though Kaku tries to pay the entry fee, the guard refuses, reminding Kaku he's part of their village now. Kaku insists, saying, "These rules are like promises to me, and I never break a promise." Kaku prepares the meal, and the villagers enjoy the feast, declaring it delicious. He reassures them it's his treat, encouraging everyone to eat to their heart's content. A villager asks if he's sure about giving away such high-quality meat and curiously inquires about its origin. Kaku claims it's from a thunder dragon, sparking laughter at what they believe is a tall tale. Despite his attempts to convince them he actually hunted it, they remain doubtful. Alma vouches for Kaku's honesty, but Arnard still calls him a swindler, much to Kaku's annoyance. Juiwi chimes in, noting that Kaku's knack for procuring top-quality meat makes him invaluable. The old man then half-jokingly offers his granddaughter to Kaku, prompting Arnard to tell him to stop. Kaku mutters about the lack of his consent, but the old man replies it would be settled by a majority vote. Together, they all share laughter and enjoy their evening. After the gathering, Arnard asks if Kaku plans to stay the night, to which he agrees gratefully. Just then, Juiz appears, wincing in discomfort. Arnard quickly urges her to rest. Kaku asks with concern about the baby, and Juiz, smiling wearily, shares that the baby has been particularly active, likely energized by the dragon meat. Alma then inquires about her due date, and Juiz estimates about a month's time. Kaku promises he'll return once his mission is complete. Later, Kaku retires to his room, collapsing onto the bed in exhaustion. Gazing at the ceiling, he reflects on his life, marveling at the unlikelihood of his current circumstances. After all he'd been through, to now be living a life of such peace and normalcy felt nothing short of miraculous. Once Kaku had died in Japan and due to past misdeeds was condemned to hell, reborn as a demon. Life there was torment. He barely escaped death countless times, facing the relentless threats of higher-ranking demons and powerful beings. The ceaseless conflict between Zeus and Satan made things worse, as their clashes continually endangered his survival. Over 2 grueling years, he fought to gain the strength and knowledge he needed to survive in hell. During one such clash between Zeus and Satan, Kaku was caught in the turmoil, seemingly destined to perish amid the chaos. Yet, when he next opened his eyes, he found himself in a world unlike Earth. Adjusting took time, but eventually, he concealed his identity by claiming amnesia and set off on a journey through this strange new land, blending in as a human. 3 years ago, Kaku arrived in the village of Joan, where he learned the local language and settled into life as a traveling merchant. This new existence felt surreal, almost like a dream. Often he'd laugh uncontrollably at the absurdity of his situation, struck by how unbelievably fortunate he was to have a second chance. After enduring the torments of a literal hell, it felt only fair that he should now live such a life as his reward. No longer did he live in constant fear for his survival. Now, he could eat and sleep in peace. His harrowing experiences in hell had transformed him, leaving him as strong as a protagonist from the novels he once read. Though his life was quiet, he retained his formidable power, just as he'd always wished. Kaku's laughter turned almost wild as he cursed Satan, startling Alma, who had just arrived with food. Quickly, Kaku asked Alma if she needed anything, and she explained that her mother had asked her to bring him water. Gratefully, he accepted, as he was thirsty. Alma then handed him a pair of gloves she had made. She shyly told him that her father had taught her the craft, and she had noticed he didn't have any gloves to protect his hands from rope burns, a common issue for traveling merchants. Kaku tried them on, noting the perfect fit and admiring the vermilion dye. He thanked her sincerely, promising to treasure the gift. Alma then blushed, admitting she'd made them for her future husband. Stunned, Kaku watched as she hurriedly left. A bit embarrassed, he silently apologized to her, knowing that as a demon he was immune to rope burns and could not marry her. Reflecting on the concept of family, he realized that demons do not age, which meant he would outlive any human family he might try to start. The next morning, while enjoying his breakfast, Arnard invited Kaku to go fishing with him. As they cast their lines, Arnard brought up Alma, mentioning that she'd finally worked up the courage to give him the gloves. Kaku praised her skill, and a slightly envious Arnard joked that he'd like a pair himself. Arnard then reminded Kaku half-jokingly that he had no plans to let his daughter go just yet. Grinning, Kaku assured him he understood, playfully noting he wasn't a Lycon. This sparked a lively, good-natured debate between them. During their playful exchange, Kaku earnestly wonders what Alma sees in him. Arnard's expression softens as he shares that Alma has always been fragile, with doctors predicting she wouldn't live past 10. Although she appears lively around others, she often spends her days bedridden at home. However, since Kaku returned from his first journey with exotic meats and spices, her health has noticeably improved. Arnard admits that he was initially wary of Kaku due to his mysterious background and language barrier, but now he and the villagers are profoundly grateful for the positive changes Kaku has brought into their lives. The gratitude in Arnard's eyes adds a heartfelt touch to their otherwise light-hearted morning. Suddenly, Arnard announces he has caught a fish but quickly shifts to a more pressing topic. He has received a draft notice from the Central Authority and has decided to join the army. Kaku, surprised, asks why he made this decision so abruptly. Arnard clarifies that it isn't sudden. He has been a reserve soldier, and with the rising demon activity in the kingdom, the situation has become urgent. He questions Kaku's understanding of the matter, doubting whether he truly is a traveling merchant. Unable to disclose his teleportation ability, Kaku brushes the question aside. Arnard then entrusts Kaku with a serious responsibility to look after Alma and his unborn child. Kaku points out that Ors is a male name, but Arnard confidently assures him that the baby will be a boy and insists there's no need to worry. He asks Kaku if he is willing to accept this responsibility. While Kaku hesitates, Arnard is resolute, yet Kaku refrains from making any promises. As he loads his belongings into his carriage, Alma asks when he will return. He promises her that he will come back next month to see her brother. He then gestures for her to come closer and gives her a dragon scale necklace as a token of gratitude for the gloves. Touched, Alma thanks him, and with that, Kaku sets off for the royal capital of the Geyser Dragon Kingdom, Wyverna. Once in Arena, Kaku conducts his trading activities and visits the Merchant Guild. There, the receptionist presents him with a rose insignia and a document confirming his promotion to the intermediate level, which allows him to trade with nobles. She congratulates him, and Kaku, feeling proud, plans to boast about his achievement back in the village. While shopping for clothes, the shopkeeper remarks on his swift promotion, expressing her surprise. Kaku jokes that he will indeed brag about it. She warns him to be cautious, mentioning that the Holy Knights are currently on an expedition in Euro. Curious, Kaku asks about their activities. She explains that the Holy Knights, blessed by the goddess, possess the ability to detect signs of demons and periodically embark on special expeditions to nearby countries to root out hidden demons. However, she shares a troubling rumor that the knights have been abusing their powers, falsely accusing innocent villagers and plundering their belongings. She urges him to be cautious, but when she turns around, Kaku has vanished. Using Mana Purge to erase his tracks, Kaku reluctantly resorts to teleportation due to the pressing urgency of the situation. He quickly teleports to the forest and emerges to see smoke and flames rising from the village. Struggling to keep his emotions in check, he attempts to rationalize the scene, hoping the smoke is the result of harmless activities like burning grass or cooking. Deep down, however, he fears the worst and prepares himself to confront whatever has occurred. Upon reaching the village, he sees everyone appears to be safe, but it's merely an illusion. The entire village is ablaze, and lifeless bodies lie scattered around. As Kaku enters the village, he finds the bodies of his loved ones. He collapses to his knees and screams. He cradles Alma and demands to know what happened and who is responsible. In a moment of desperation, he transforms into a demon and uses his skills to glimpse into the past. He witnesses the villagers telling the knights they know nothing about demons, only to be met with accusations from their leader. The knight claims they have found traces of a demon and asserts that the meat is dragon meat, which only a demon could hunt. When he asks Arnard who supplied the meat, Arnard covers for Kaku's identity. The leader orders the villagers to be killed. They had defended him, and once again, Kaku is powerless to save anyone. He struggles to comprehend the unfairness of this world and why the villagers had to perish. With madness filling his eyes, he curses the knights and uses his soul searcher skill to locate their position. He finds them and sends a meteor soaring into the sky, visible across the continent. A soldier warns their leader that something is approaching, but when the leader turns to look, the magical meteor strikes, obliterating them completely. Kaku reflects on his immense losses. In the 2 years he spent in hell, he faced domination, starvation, and constant war and death. Before he realized it, he had lost his human heart. He had destroyed, killed, and devoured both their flesh and souls, transforming his own into that of a demon. When Kaku first arrived in the village, He had intended to use the villagers to gather information, believing that if they hadn't helped him, they would have perished. But it turned out to be a refuge for him, and after 2 years he finally learned to enjoy his life.